right, it was the NFL draft. If you did not know, last Thursday I was invited to the LA Chargers draft room. I've never done that. Hope to do it again with some franchise. It was remarkable. And now, over the course of the weekend, you know what everybody does, who had the best class and who had the worst class, and that team got a B-, and that team got a C+, and that team... I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you a story about my late mother, who at one point in her life was a nurse. Came over from England in her early teens by herself on a boat, came over, eventually got a job as a nurse. And my mom said something very early in my life that I never forget. She said, if you have your health, you have everything. Everything else is fine. But she, as a nurse for 2 years, saw people who grew up in chronic pain. And she said, honey, if you grow up and at any point in your life, you are in pain from the minute you wake to the minute you go to sleep, she goes, it will suffocate everything else in your life. And I tell that story because everybody's grading the draft classes. And you want to know who won the draft? The teams that got franchise quarterbacks. Arizona got a kid as good as Josh Rosen at number 10. The New York Jets got the best quarterback, in my opinion, at number 3. They won the draft. Let me tell you the value of a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo is worth 5 points. Over the course of a season, 16 games, that would be 80 points. Over the course of a 12-year career, could play longer, that's 960 points. J.J. Watt, Odell Beckham, Julio Jones, Gronk aren't worth a single point in any game. Jimmy Garoppolo is worth 5 a game. The 49ers were 1-10. Then he showed up. They were 5-0. They averaged 17 a game without him and 29 with him. And I know what you're saying. Colin, you said he was worth 5 points. It appears he's worth 12. No, 12 is what a great franchise quarterback is worth when he connects with a great offensive coordinator. Jared Goff was a disaster. He's a Pro Bowl level quarterback with Sean McVay. Jimmy Garoppolo with Kyle Shanahan is worth somewhere between 10 and 12 points a game. If you want to know who won the draft, who got a quarterback, you could take every linebacker in the history of this draft from USC, Ohio State, and Alabama combined. They're not worth 50 points over their careers. Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold will change the franchise. 200 people in those organizations that would have been fired will now retain employment. They'll sell tens of millions of dollars in merchandise, game day revenue, not to mention free agent wide receivers and offensive linemen. Players will choose the Jets in Arizona and Buffalo if Josh Allen can play, and Baltimore if Lamar Jackson's as great as everybody tells me. Now, once you get the quarterback right, nothing else matters. It's like my mom said, if you've got your health, you'll figure out the rest in life. No matter how much you inherit, no matter how handsome, no matter how smart, if you wake up in chronic pain, it suffocates all your other gifts. I don't know who won the draft. I mean, there were certain players that I really, really like. I think the Colts really helped their offensive line. I think the Packers did a great job and really helped their secondary. I think the Chargers' defense was good. It's going to be even better. But I look at the Jets today, and they were the butt of jokes Wednesday. I look at Arizona. I was rolling my eyes Wednesday. But I look at those teams today, and my grade is A for awesome. H for headache. No more headaches. Everybody wants to grade this stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how great Jacksonville's defense is. Last year, there were a lot of really good defenses that didn't do anything. New England's defense and Philadelphia's in the Super Bowl, neither could stop a nosebleed. But they had quarterbacks who were spinning it. So that's my draft for the grade. Jets in Arizona not only got stability in franchise quarterbacks, they got them an incredible value. The Jets got the best quarterback, not at the number 1 pick, not at the number 2 pick, the number 3 pick. And to get somebody as gifted as Josh Rosen at 10, that's a franchise changer at number 10. And they entered the draft with what appeared, due to their limitation of draft picks, to have no shot at changing the course of their franchise. And that's exactly what they did. The Cleveland Browns not only took Baker Mayfield number 1, they thought he was far better than every other quarterback. No, I'm serious. Because they had the 1st and the 4th pick, and the Giants weren't taking a quarterback. So by taking Baker 1, what you're saying is, no, we're not going to take Saquon Barkley. And then watch the Giants and Jets take who they take. We think Baker is so much better than Rosen, so much better than Darnold, so much better than Lamar Jackson, so much better than Josh Allen, that we got to take him number 1. Okie dokie. Then at the 4th pick, the best defensive player on everybody's, I called 4 scouts of different teams. Bradley Chubb was the number 1 defensive player on every board, and it frankly was an easy year. They didn't take him either. Now let me say this about Baker Mayfield. I've never said he's going to be a bust. I said Johnny Manziel would be a bust, and I said Tim Tebow would be a bust. Baker Mayfield actually throws a very accurate football, and that's a real thing in the NFL, like a really important thing. I think he's undersized. I think he lacks maturity and judgment, and I think he's a marginal athlete who likes to run more than he's going to be able to in the NFL. But I think he can win some games. I just think his ceiling is really, really low, and people think he's the next Russell Wilson and Drew Brees. I do not. It's not that Baker Mayfield will play 8 games and just disappear. It's that the Cleveland Browns had 2 of the first 4 picks and did not maximize either. Denzel Ward will play for many years, and I think Baker will hang around for a while. But when you have the 1st and the 4th, you take the best offensive player and the best defensive player. And on no board except Cleveland's was Denzel Ward the best defensive player and Baker Mayfield the best offensive player. Again, Johnny Manziel, I called bust. Tim Tebow, I called bust. Baker will win some games, and this is the way the world works, where people have no interest in getting it right. They want to be right. So when he goes like 4-12, you'll, of course, credit Baker as being a wild success. And in Cleveland, 4-12 these days is. But they didn't maximize an opportunity that you almost never get in this league. The chance to get the best offensive player and the chance to get the best defensive player. And they failed with both. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.